What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the CombatCast. So today I'm going to do a little recap of ONE Fight Night 17. The significance of this event was that it was ONE's first all Muay Thai event to take place in Bangkok at Lumpinee Stadium, headlined by a ONE Muay Thai Heavyweight title fight between the ONE Light Heavyweight Kickboxing champion Roman Kryklia and the WBC Muay Thai champion Alex Roberts. Now, at first, I was a little skeptical at this matchup because, well, the heavyweight division in ONE Super Series, which is Muay Thai and kickboxing, has always been a little paper thin. I mean, there's always been kickboxers in the heavyweight division, but in terms of Muay Thai, it's been virtually non-existent. But I will have to admit, after seeing the whole card live on television, I think it's safe to say that ONE Fight Night 17 exceeded my expectations to a certain extent. But first, I'm just gonna run through the fights, and we start with the first fight of the card, which is Thongpoon PK Sanchai versus Ellis Barboza. Now, Thongpoon was given a $100,000 contract to compete on the main ONE Championship roster after a barn burner fight against Yang Dam on one of the weekly ONE Friday Fights shows. I mean, he gave up a good performance for sure in his fight with Yang Dam, but when he was offered the contract, I was a little skeptical. I mean, Yang Dam isn't your typical, your high caliber, world ranked ONE Muay Thai fighter, and did such a performance from Thongpoon warrant such a contract to compete at the major leagues in ONE Championship? So I was a little skeptical. I thought he was overrated from the beginning. So in his fight against Ellis Barboza, he started strong in the first round, but he didn't do any real damage against Barboza. And then in the second round, Barboza scored the knockdown at the end of the second round. And in the third round, Barboza just went for the finish. He used body shots, and Thongpoon just folded like a lawn chair. And Barboza won the fight by knockout, and that was when I started having doubts. Actually, I always had doubts, but that was when I realized maybe Thongpoon is just a hype train, Maybe ONE just signed him because, he's got that marketable look. He's got that hip-hop style that's relatable to the younger audiences who have just gotten to watching Muay Thai, who've just gotten to watching ONE Championship. But yeah, I've always been doubtful about Thongpoon competing in the main roster of ONE Championship. I mean, if he fought in ONE Friday Fights, he'd get like opponents of the same who are at his level. And and I think Ellis Barboza exposed him to a certain degree. Now, I'm sure, it's only been one fight. I'm sure he can bounce back given that he's matched with the right opponent. Thongpoon comes from a pretty small weight class. The fight between Barboza and Thongpoon was scheduled to be a 120-pound catchweight contest, but though both fighters missed weight by like 10 pounds, Thongpoon came in weighing 130 pounds, and Ellis Barboza came in weighing 132 pounds, I think. So yeah, I can only assume Thongpoon was fighting way above his natural weight class, as was Barboza, but still, it's still too early to tell. But me personally, I think Thongpoon is a bit of a hype train and quite overrated. And yeah, so next fight, second fight of the card, we have Nguyen Tran Doi Not making his return to ONE Championship after 4 years away from the promotion against Dennis Puric. And, to be honest, I was rooting for Nguyen Tran Doi Not. He had a decent run in 2019, with knockout wins over Alzwan Che Will at the first ONE Championship Vietnam event at ONE Immortal Triumph. And then he defeated Yuta Watanabe by head kick KO. And afterwards, when the pandemic happened, he stepped away from ONE Championship. He turned to coaching, and then he also fought in MMA a bit. But then he eventually made his return at ONE Fight Night 17. I thought, you know what? Someone like Denis Puric, it's easy work for Nguyen Tran Doi Not. But I was wrong, and I was so disappointed to see him lose in the second round by knockout. Puric just landed a mean punch to the temple and just discombobulated him. So that was a second round knockout win for Denis Puric. But it's hard to believe that at one point in time, I used to think that Nguyen Tran Doi Not could have been a title challenger for the ONE Flyweight Muay Thai title. But who knows? Again, you know, the sample size is still small. Nguyen Tran Doi Not has only had 3 fights in ONE Championship. Who knows who his next opponent will be? Denis Puric, the win against Nguyen Tran Doi Not does boost his stock. I think ONE will give him more higher caliber opponents. Does it bring him one step closer to a title shot? I highly doubt it, because I mean, Nguyen Tran Doi Not was never ranked in the flyweight Muay Thai rankings or kickboxing rankings to begin with. So, I mean, I guess they're just going to keep feeding him, shall we say, prospects. So, yeah. Now, Johan Ghazali versus Edgar Tabarez, the third fight of the night. I mean, I knew from the bottom of my heart, you know, the 17-year-old Johan Ghazali, of course he would be given an easy fight in his debut in the major ONE Championship show. And of course, who better than an opponent than Edgar Tabarez? And I feel, I feel happy for, you know, this kid, Johan Ghazali. You know, he's 17, he's young. I mean, come on. He hasn't even finished high school yet. He's chasing his dreams, you know, fighting Muay Thai. And he achieved his victory in his debut in the major show at ONE Fight Night 17. But I can't help but also feel bad for his opponent, Edgar Tabarez. You know, since joining ONE Championship, you know, in the May 2023 landmark US show, Edgar Tabarez has lost all 3 fights, and his debut has to be like the toughest, you know, the worst of draw you could get, you know. Rod Tang, Jit Mung Non, for the ONE Flyweight Muay Thai title. Rod Tang is someone you do not want to get as your debut opponent, even if it's for the world title. Yeah, and Rod Tang is a decision fighter. He fights to entertain the crowds. But in the fight against Rod Tang in Colorado, Edgar Tabarez just got brutally knocked out by elbow. And yeah, it was hard to watch, if I were an Edgar Tabarez fan. And then in his next fight, he got matched up against Ilyas Mahmoudi, who is no slouch himself, you know. The French Algerians, they take their Muay Thai training seriously, and they do good in Muay Thai. They're one of the best, if we talk about like Europeans. I mean, next to the British, I think the French give the Thais a run for their money in Muay Thai. And oh man, when I saw the matchup between Mahmoudi and Edgar Tabarez, I thought, dude, complete mismatch. And true enough, I think Mahmoudi finished Tabarez in the first round. And when they announced the fight between Ghazali and Tabarez, I was only thinking one thing: Tabarez is a sacrificial lamb. Hey, and you know what? If that's how it's supposed to be, then so be it. You know, I mean, it's not like they're gonna give Johan Ghazali a tough opponent for his very first fight, you know, because the ONE Flyweight Muay Thai division is stacked. You know, they're not gonna give him super leg. They're not going to give him somebody like, shall we say, Jacob Smith. They're not going to give him someone like Tagir Kalilov. But yeah, so I think Edgar Tabarez, I guess in all likelihood, makes a good first test for someone like Johan Ghazali. And I guess we know where he stands now. Well, not actually, but still, the future is, there's still a long road ahead for young man Johan Ghazali. And yeah, let's leave it at that. Fourth fight of the night, Jacob Smith versus Walter Gonçalves. Walter Gonçalves has had a not so up and down career in ONE Championship, you know. When he made his debut in ONE Championship, he was given an instant title shot against Rodtang Jitmunon in Rodtang's first title defense. I was thinking to myself, how the hell does this guy get an instant title shot when he hasn't even proven himself yet? ONE Championship makes a lot of WTF decisions. Who am I to say, you know? But, you know, despite his underhand tactics, despite his dirty moves, Walter Gonçalves still lost the fight by split decision. And he faced Momotaro next, who hasn't been seen in ONE Championship since like forever. And he lost the fight on a leg injury, which, you know, and that fight, it was, he got injured early in the fight, so, you know, who knows who could have won that fight. So no one knew what Walter Gonçalves was capable of until the ill-fated ONE Muay Thai Grand Prix. He faced late replacement Josue Cruz, who actually filled in for Jonathan Haggerty. Now, honestly though, I would have wanted to see Walter Gonçalves versus Jonathan Haggerty, but by then Haggerty was having trouble making the flyweight upper limit. So we were given Walter Gonçalves versus Josue Cruz instead. Now, Walter Gonçalves is pretty talented. And then he dispatched Josue Cruz in under a minute of the first round. And next, he in the flyweight Grand Prix semifinal, he faced Superlek Getmukau. Yeah, the man who gave Rodtang one of his toughest fights, even though it should have been a title fight, but Superlek missed weight by 5 pounds. But anyways, Superlek dismantled Walter Gonçalves, and I'm going to have to abandon my impartiality when I say this. I was so glad to see Superlek, you know, knock out Walter Gonçalves using his elbows. He knocked him down twice, and like the second time, like Walter Gonçalves couldn't get back up. He was busted open. Superlek just weaponized his elbows like effectively. And it was so satisfying to see because I just thought back to Walter Gonçalves' underhanded tactics in his debut fight against Rodtang, and he was trying to get away with it. But yeah, and then in the fight against Jacob Smith at ONE Fight Night 17, you know, Jacob Smith, an example of British Muay Thai really making leaps and bounds, you know, evolving. Excuse me. So, just before the round ended, Jacob Smith just rocked Gonçalves, I believe it was with a punching combination, stuns him, and then just lands a clean knee to the body, which just renders Walter Gonçalves unable to continue. And Smith wins the fight by knockout. So this leaves Walter Gonçalves in a spot where he's 1-4 in ONE Championship. But ONE Championship is in the UFC, where once you have like a terrible record, you get cut. You know? ONE Championship needs fighters to fill their fight cards. So yeah. So who knows what happens to Walter Gonçalves moving forward. I know Jacob Smith might move closer to title contention, that's for sure. Fifth fight of the night, Dmitry Menshikov versus Muhsin Shafi. Man, Dmitry Menshikov is looking like a killer. He's rebounded since his 46-second loss to Rehian Urso. I'm going to go out on a limb and presume that a lot of ONE fans have just disregarded Dmitry Menshikov. They've underestimated Dmitry Menshikov since his loss to Rehian Urso. Maybe because they don't really know who Menshikov is. He's fought in Glory. He's fought in the Russian promotions like RCC Fair Fight, Muay Thai Factory, Tatneft Cup. But point is, the guy is actually an accomplished Muay Thai fighter and kickboxer. He's got knockout power, that's for sure. Also, showcased in the fight against Musin Shafi. And before Menshikov scored the decisive knockout, Musin Shafi made the low IQ move of taunting his opponent just like seconds before Menshikov landed that mean punch that knocked him out cold, separated him from his senses. And yeah, honestly, if Rehian Ursul wasn't the ONE Kickboxing or ONE Muay Thai lightweight champion, I think Dmitry Menshikov could possibly be the king of the lightweight divisions in Muay Thai and kickboxing. Because before the fight with Musin Shafi, he destroyed Rumrawi, okay? Like, knocked him out. And yeah, and I just thought to myself, if it wasn't for Rehian Ursul, Dmitry Menshikov would be the man. And yeah, people just forget, or people just don't know of what this guy has done outside of ONE Championship before he came to ONE Championship. So yeah, as I said, Rehian Ursul is too good for ONE Championship. Every guy he faces is a mismatch. A guy like Menshikov, he got knocked out in 46 seconds. So, and it's time for Rehian to go to glory. Come on, Rehian. Go to glory. Take your talents elsewhere. Let the other guys shine, if you know what I mean. Okay, now the sixth fight of the night. Okay, so Samapet Fairtex versus Mohammed Yunus Raba. Some people have told me, that there were some fouls committed in the lead up to the end of the fight. So Samapet actually scored the first knockdown of the fight. He knocked down Raba, but Raba got back up. And, he continued fighting. He bounced right back up and continued fighting. And then he caught Samapet with the second knockdown. And then he tried to throw a kick to a grounded opponent. Dirty tactic. I don't think the kick landed. I couldn't really see it in the replay. But then, Samapet tried to fight back for a while. And near the end of the first round, Raba scored the final knockdown of the fight. But what I take issue with upon seeing the replay, he also connected on a knee to the grounded opponent. Now, keep in mind, this is a Muay Thai fight. You cannot hit a grounded fighter just in any case. Like, hands down, you cannot hit a grounded fighter under any circumstances, because this is a Muay Thai fight. In MMA, sure, you can get away with grounded knees to the head of a downed opponent, but in Muay Thai, it's a no-no. Not in ONE Muay Thai, not in Stadium Muay Thai, not in under any rule set in Muay Thai or kickboxing. But Raba got away with it, and I think that the knee to the ground, the grounded knee to the grounded opponent, was what wobbled Samapet and what led to the stoppage of the fight. I think that was a very dirty tactic. I think it was very intentional. It was blatant. I'm not sure that I think the referee missed it. If that's the case, I think Raba got away with committing a blatant foul. And if that is the case, I think the Fairtex team should appeal this loss, because that knee affected the outcome of the fight. The fight was going one way, and then an intentional foul changed the course of the fight. Yeah, sure, Samapet was already knocked down twice, but the knee changed the tempo, in my personal opinion. And that is such a dirty move, You knocked your opponent down already. Why are you going to throw a knee to his head once he's already knocked down? When you knock somebody down in Muay Thai, you go back to a neutral corner and let the referee administer the count. That's a dirty move by Mohammed Yunus Raba. And now, this just gets me so worked up. And I'm not a huge fan of the Fairtex fighters. I'm not even that big of a fan of Samapet. But when I see a foul being committed like that, it just pisses me off, okay? And if he doesn't get punished for a transgression like this, who's to say he won't try and pull that shit off again? I think Fairtex, you know, Prem, the owner, the director of Fairtex, should hand an appeal to the decision of the fight, so that maybe they can at least overturn it to a no contest and take away the victory from Mohammed Yunus Raba, because they should not tolerate cheating, okay? This is cheating, blatant cheating, okay? This transcends, you know, PEDs and steroids and whatnot, because that's just not okay in my eyes. You don't hit a guy when he's down. And oh my God, you would think he would win on clean terms, but okay, the knockdown, okay, I mean, I'm not saying that if he didn't throw the knee that Semapet would have won the fight, but like, if you're gonna win, do it within the rules. But he just blatantly threw the knee once Semapet went down, and it connected to his head. It could be dangerous, 1. 2, it probably affected the outcome of the fight, okay? Semapet was wobbly when he got back up. That's why the referee stopped the fight. Okay, now I'm going to cool down. I'm going to take a sip of water. Next fight, Jonathan Wood versus Luke Lissay. Now, originally, Jonathan Wood was scheduled to face Nicholas Larson. And to be honest, I would have thought that Jonathan Wood would have easily finished off Nicholas Larson, because Larson was, oh my gosh, she was losing so many fights in one championship. He was 0-3 in one championship, but then Larson withdrew due to an injury, and he was replaced with the unknown Luke Lissay. I think ahead of the fight, Lissay had a 5-0 record. So there wasn't much research I could do on him. And Jonathan Wood, you know, he's, at this point of his career, I think you could call him a journeyman. But he's faced solid competition. And, you know, speaking as a fan, a One Championship fan anyways, Jonathan Wood is definitely my favorite fighter. Hearing his backstory from the JM podcast, when he came on to speak with Jade Marissa, the sister of RWS Muay Thai commentator Aaron Siri Sompan, his backstory is really compelling, because, you know, he did start Muay Thai in Thailand, but he couldn't make a name for himself, so he moved to the United States, to Colorado. He was introduced to snowboarding and skiing. And for a while, Muay Thai just went on the shelf for him. But then he started doing Muay Thai again when, I understand it, people had him teach Muay Thai and kickboxing classes. And that's when he fell in love with the sport. And then he was called, like, as a late replacement to fight on this promotion called Lion Fight, and he won the fight just on 10 days notice. And that's when he garnered popularity. He fought on Lion Fight first, and I think that's eventually how he came to sign with One Championship, because of his compelling story. And yeah, you know, a lot when speaking of One Championship, a lot of people will say, oh, Rot Tang, Super Bon, the One Chai. But for me personally, Jonathan Wood is my favorite One Championship fighter. He's my hero, because his journey into combat sports and into becoming a fighter, it is the most inspirational thing I have ever heard. So yeah, and he has not had a smooth path fighting in One Championship, you know, because when he made his debut, he faced Giorgio Petrosian, and you know, Giorgio Petrosian wasn't exactly in the twilight of his career yet. He was still in his prime, and he lost. And then he went on to score 4 straight victories, including good highlight reel wins over the likes of Sami Sana, George Mann, Johan Dry. And then he faced Giorgio Petrosian as part of the 2019 Kickboxing Grand Prix. He lost the rematch though. I was there to watch it live at ONE Championship Dreams of Gold, August 2019. I was there at the Impact Arena. I was watching it just with bated breath. I was hoping, Joe would, win it by some miracle, but Giorgio Petrosian knocked him out in the first round. When he knocked him down, I was just like hoping to myself, come on, Joe, get up. But he couldn't. And I was disappointed. And then Joe disappeared for a while until he came back in 2021, late 2021. Knocked out Yuri Davtyan. And then filled in as a late replacement for Marat Grigorian in the Grand Prix semifinals. The 2022 Kickboxing Grand Prix semifinals, mind you. And according to his luck, he had to face Chingiz Alazov, of all people. Got knocked out in the first round. Tough to watch. And then he faced Jamal Yusupov, and he lost that fight by unanimous decision. But then in 2023, of October 2023, he faced Tawan Chai in a kickboxing match when Tawan Chai's title fight with Superbond fell through. He came in as a late-minute replacement, put up a barn burner fight, and I think he just gained new fans. And honestly, I have to tell you, I thought Joe was going to lose that fight just because of Tawan Chai's youth and speed and skill set, but Joe was, Joe was fighting like a man possessed. So, honestly, when he fought Luke Lassay, I thought he would quickly dispose of Luke, within the first or second rounds. But man, those two put up a fight of the night performance. It was an all-out dogfight. It was a straight-up Muay Thai brawl. Joe definitely took control of the first two rounds, but then Luke Lassay just had that dog in him. He never got knocked down. He never got finished. And in the third round, he rallied back. He rocked Joe, definitely sure, in the third round. But it was too little too late, and Joe won the fight by unanimous decision. But Luke Lassay, I am sure, definitely won some new fans. For those who did not know him then, I'm sure a lot of people will know him now. And I think Luke Lassay will continue to get more fights in ONE Championship, I hope. And now, to the final fight of the night. Roman Kryklia versus Alex Roberts for the ONE Heavyweight Muay Thai World Championship. Oh my gosh, what can I say? This fight went exactly as I expected. I mean, Alex Roberts had his moments, but it was short-lived. Come on, let's be honest. I mean, when I saw Alex Roberts standing across from Roman Kryklia, I thought, this guy is a pretty big guy compared to all the other opponents Roman Kryklia has faced. But in the end, Roman Kryklia won the fight by a second round knockout, 25 seconds, just 25 seconds into the second round. Landed a hard, just landed a hard punch and just left Alex Roberts out cold and became a two-division world champion. And it's just as I expected, because Roman Kryklia is just levels above his opponents in ONE Championship. And then I just want to say that he's too good for ONE Championship. A guy like Roman Kryklia should go compete in Glory Kickboxing, He belongs in the elite heavyweights, with the elite heavyweights in Glory. Rico Verhoeven, Antonio Plazibat, Levi Richters, Kevin Terrico Saro. List goes on and on. But Alex Roberts did have some moments. He caught Roman with some good shots, but ultimately Roman was the better fighter. I mean, what more can you ask of him? And yeah, it was definitely a banger card. It lived up to my expectations, if not more. At ONE Fight Night 17, what else could you ask for? All Muay Thai held at Lumpinee Stadium. I mean, the only issue I had with it was that it started at 8 a.m. Thailand time. But hey, ONE wants to cater to the U.S. audiences. Let him be. But the fights were good. It's just sad to see Nguyen Tran Doi Nhat and lose, and Semapet lose the way he did. I hope Mohammed Yunus Rabah gets his win revoked due to the fashion in which he won. because it was very unsportsmanlike. And yeah. As for Roman Kryklia, congratulations to the guy. He deserves it, and he deserves much better if you ask me. Joe Nathawood, you are always my hero. You've always been my hero since 2019. As for Dmitry Menshikov, I certainly believe this man deserves a title rematch against Rehian Ursul. He's a killer, and I think that his debut against Rehian Ursul, where he lost in 46 seconds, that was not his day. I think give him another rematch, and I think we will see a different Dmitry Menshikov. And for the rest of the fighters, I don't have much else to say. And yeah, I guess that's about it for today's episode. And Christmas is coming soon, in about less than 2 weeks. And so yeah, I want to wish you guys an early Merry Christmas here from Bangkok. Hope you guys get to spend time with your family, your friends. Merry Christmas, guys. And for any of you still watching, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm honestly not sure when I'll be recording next. I'm gonna be traveling soon. But yeah. And I guess that's about it. And for those of you who made it all to the very end, I wish you all a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.